What is going on, everybody? This is the First Framerates podcast. I am your host, VF Baller, and I want to give everyone a wonderful and happy Thanksgiving to everybody who's out there celebrating this Thanksgiving holiday. And today I'll be going solo. This is episode number 44, and I don't have my co-host. They're not with me today. Some technical situations going on. I'm not necessarily using the same tools I used to make this podcast. Therefore, their audio could not be picked up based on what I'm using. So I just basically said I was going to go solo today. But that doesn't mean the topics and the content is lacking. We have a lot of content to talk about, a lot of topics that I want to cover. I think it's going to cover a good hour or so. So I do hope you guys sit back, listen, and enjoy. If you want to get more acclimated with the podcast, you can find this podcast on SoundCloud, which is just search First and Framerates. Also on iTunes, where you can find it there, just search First and Framerates in the podcast part of iTunes. And a few days after this uploads to those two sites, you can also find it on YouTube as well. It'll be under my YouTube channel, which is called Silent Gamer. I am in the process of putting this on other platforms such as Spotify, Podbean, and all other places as well. If you have Podcast Addict, you can also download the podcasts through there, just like you can do on iTunes. Podcast Addict is like a hub where you can have various podcasts in one location, and just search First and Framerates. You should be able to pick it up from there. If not, the RSS feed through SoundCloud, or you can just pick it up on my Twitter, which is BF Baller. You can find me on Twitter, and all the information is there, so you can pick up the podcast as well. Like I said, a lot of topics going in today. We're going to talk about this Kansas City Chiefs Los Angeles Rams game. A lot of mixed emotions with that game. A lot of people who enjoyed watching the game. Some people didn't like the flow of the game too much. My personal thoughts about it, where I think that this could possibly be heading with other teams and the NFL in general. Also, another baseball game will be coming in 2019. It's a fairly familiar game if you're within the aspects of sports gaming. If you know a little bit about it, I'm not sure if it'll make it here to the States, but we'll really dwell into that because I think it's a very good game. Pro Yakyuu Sprits baseball game made by Konami is making a return. The last game came out on the PS3 back in 2015 or 2014, I would say, and it's supposed to be making a return. So we're going to talk about that as well. Also, I want to talk about college basketball games. We really need those back in the fold. I have the same sentiments I had with the football game on the last podcast last week, but if you have a chance to pick up one of these college games for your PS3 or Xbox 360, I highly recommend it. We'll dwell into that in a little bit. And the final thing I want to talk about is what are we all thankful for? What am I thankful for? And some tips to give anybody that just kind of feel a little out of the loop of what really matters, or you just feel that they're a little down and out. Just something to pull someone up if they're just not into the spirit of this time of the year, because this is a wonderful time of the year, and it's just a little thing just I want to share with you guys. It's a little bit outside of sports and gaming, so we'll just go from there. Definitely, let's talk about this Kansas City Chiefs Los Angeles Rams game. Honestly, I was amazed that this game actually lived up to the hype. I never really thought that this game would be a 50-point game on either side. Honestly, even with the high-powered offenses, I thought that somebody defense was going to shut the other team down once they reach about 30. I honestly, I was I wasn't entertained. You know, I mean, I've been watching football for oh man, almost 30 years, and I never seen anything like it. Now, I mean, like I said, I was entertained, but do I like it? Do I think it should be the norm? Probably not, but we'll get into that should it be the norm, because there's a lot of people who did not like what was going on, pretty much was feeling that it was they kind of felt a little uneasy about it, and mostly they're defensive minded coaches, and I understand that, and I know a lot of casual people were loving it, and they was loving the fact there was just so much excitement out there, and on top of that, there were defensive plays that was actually pretty amazing. So I'm not going to say it was a mix of everything, but it was really lean towards the offensive side. Clearly, I mean, 51-54 type game. I mean, it was crazy. Now, for me, my personal take from it is, like I said, it was entertaining. Do I like it to be the norm? No, because I feel that football is an offensive, a defensive, and a special teams game. And I'm not trying to put an emphasis on defense, but something has to give. You know, I mean, like I said, there's no doubt that there were so many. It was a good bit of defensive plays, a couple of defensive touchdowns, sack fumbles, fumble returns, and beautiful interceptions, tip drills that turned into interceptions. There was a little bit of everything in the game per se. But like I said, it was a little bit tilted towards the offense, where it just seemed like it was arena football. And to me, I think it was entertaining to watch, but I wouldn't like it to be the norm where, you know, defenses are basically handicapped unless if it was a blatant type of situation where a flag couldn't be thrown. Like some of these sack fumbles, like earlier this year, some of these could have been called on a, you know, based on the Aaron Rodgers rule, where if you land on a quarterback or whatever, it could have been a penalty. But, you know, they leaned off of that. But, you know, it would be nice to see some defensive plays where a defensive back actually just plays their position and do a great job. I really think that the defensive back position and the technique of defending a pass is an art. And unfortunately, that art could be going away because of you want more. Well, I ain't gonna say you, but people in general, or just the masses, or just the casuals, or hell, even some of these television networks just want a more of an upbeat, fast pace, 70-yard bomb on every drive, where, you know, people just scoring up and down the field. And it's it's okay, because I mean, you know, the game evolves. A lot of stuff changed, a lot of things happen, you know. It just will be to a point where it'll be the norm. I mean, you look at basketball, for instance, you know, I'll say, hell, almost 7 years ago, the 3-point shot wasn't, you know, the thing to do. You know, I mean, it was there, but it wasn't as blatant as it is now. And the NBA is still prospering, so it'll be interesting to see how the NFL actually takes an approach of wanting more of this type of stuff. You know, you can't hit the quarterback, can't hit the defensive receiver. You know, you can't put a really good lick on somebody without thinking it's targeting. You know, the defense is kind of like getting to the point where it's somewhat handicapped. And I think because of the hype of this game, I think that's where, you know, there was a lot of emphasis on what the defense does, what the defense does and what they don't do. And it's somewhat disheartening when you don't see a balance, because you would like to see a good defensive stop. I'm not saying like a defensive struggle game, but a good defensive stop, you know. And I mean, like I said, to its credit, this game had some excellent defensive plays where, you know, some of these, some of these DBs was just covering so well. The quarterback just had nowhere to throw the ball, and Aaron Donald and company, you know, they just put a lick in on Pat Mahomes. And there were some times where Jared Goff got hit, and, you know, I mean, it was a good game overall. You know, it was a really good, entertaining game. Now, would I want to see every game like that? No. these type of games should be, far in between. I think the last game I really seen that was like this was the Texas, game, the Vince Young game. That was a monumental game. Texas versus USC was a really good game on its own. But I wouldn't want to see it. But I mean, it's just my opinion. I mean, I don't know what the masses may think. Hell, 2-3 years from now, everything may be like this, where all the games are like this, or like at least be at the bare minimum be in the 40s, maybe the high 30s. So like you said, you had a couple of coaches that really didn't like it. Bill O'Brien felt like it was a fun game to watch, on tape. And there was a couple of them. Let me see, where are we? Yeah, I mean, you had, Ron Rivera, he didn't like it. Mike Zimmer, he didn't like it, But then on the flip side, you had Mike McCarthy, he had no issue with it. So, I mean, it's really, it's kind of a mixed bag, because the two people who didn't like it were defensive coaches. Mike McCarthy was an offensive coordinator. I mean, he loved it. So, I mean, it was great for him. I mean, that's the type of things that they like to see. I think I'll go back. Bill O'Brien was another one. He loved to watch it. He's an offensive guy. So, it was interesting. Me personally, like I said, I don't want to see every game like that, but I mean, people in general, they love the game. It was something that it attracted a lot of people to actually watch, because you want to see excitement. You want to see big plays. You want to see that big run. You want to see that long bomb, that long bomb going downfield, people catching, 60, 70, 75-yard touchdown plays. It is what it is, like I said, I don't knock it. One thing, if I really want to take away from the game that was actually bad, like straight up bad, not just, not enough defense, or there was some defensive spurts, that was kind of like what my take was. But what was bad, I did not like the commentary of the game. I know some people would disagree, but the commentary was like overwhelmingly, overzealous. They were like really into it, like, and to me, it wasn't the fact that they were into it. To me, I sensed that it was like for pure entertainment purposes. These announcers that was on Monday Night Football, I don't see how they were actually excited to what was going on. It seemed like to me they were more like trying to get people at home to get all riled up by the plays. It was a little over the top for me. So I found that it was like, it didn't feel organic. It didn't feel real. And at the end of the day, it was just, it could have been, not needed, in my opinion. I was like, yeah, I could do without the over the top type stuff. One of my worst commentators was Phil Simms. I wouldn't mind having Phil Simms in that game, because he says like some of the dumbest stuff, in my opinion, but he would not. I don't think ESPN would have probably made him do it, but he wouldn't have been like really overzealous about plays or whatever. I just thought it was really fake and phony, and they were just trying to get people riled up. So I just thought it was very weird. So that's just something I was taking from it. What are your thoughts? I would love to know your thoughts, or whatever the case may be. You can always hit me up on Twitter, which is at VFBaller. Just let me know what you think about the podcast, whatever the case may be, and just let me know what you think about this game, 51-54. I think it was a great game to watch, but I don't think it'd be something that I would like to see every Sunday from all the time. All right, let's go ahead and talk about this new baseball game that's supposed to come out in 2019. Pro Yakyuu Sprits, which is also called Professional Baseball Spirits. It's a game that's been released only in Japan for years. It's been out for the PlayStation 3. It's been an annual release for the PS3 for years, and it was something that highly sought after by a lot of people who love baseball games. For me, I managed to get my hands on the 2015 version of the game, and I was really impressed with the game. It was my first time really playing it then, and unfortunately that was the last one that came out up until the one that's supposed to come out in 2019. As far as the gameplay goes, I can see it on a level MLB The Show. It was a very solid title. Obviously, that in the Japanese aura, there are different rules of baseball. So it wasn't like straight Major League Baseball. I mean, they have their own type of set of rules, and on top of that, the game itself, it wasn't region locked. You could play it on your American PS3 or whatever the case may be, but the game was region locked based on language. I mean, there was a big language barrier in the game. Fortunately for that, they had a website that was dedicated to people who wanted to play this game, and they had the language translated for you. So if you played the game, you had the translation on the website where you can like download it on your phone, or you can put it on your iPad, or if you had your computer right next to you, you could put it on your computer, so where you can actually see what was going on. You can read what was going on in the game. I think this is just a fantastic addition to the PlayStation 4 library. I think that the fact that we're going into another generation, or we've been in a generation to where that you see more things that are more the language barrier has kind of been, broken to where you have a translation in game. So I would love for this to have a in-game translation for this game instead of just depending on a website or an app or whatever. And I honestly, I doubted if they will bring it over to the West because of the culture of the baseball, the type of baseball it is over there. But I would love to just straight up buy this game. There's no question I'm going to get this one. I had the 2015 version. One thing that really kept me, I did not continue to play it as much, as because even with the language, the language barrier broken with the website, it was just, to me, it was a little bit too tedious. I look back on it now, I kind of wish I could have kept it around. I ended up giving it to a friend of mine who really, really enjoys the game. It was just the language thing and trying to play the game and, just go through the progression of the game. It was a little bit more tedious. And that also at the time I was getting into MLB The Show on the PS4, and it kind of, it just kind of fell by the wayside to the point where I just could not, just give it any more time based on what the other versions of baseball was giving me. But definitely, once this come out, I'm definitely going to pick this up, and I think I'm going to give this a lot more of my time, because even with MLB The Show 16, 17, 18, I mean, pretty much this generation of MLB The Show has been great. I mean, I've been pretty critical of a few things, but overall, I think the series has been great. My main issue was the bat and the ball tangibility. Sometimes the ball will go straight through the bat and it'll be called a strike, where it should have been some type of contact, where it should have been a foul ball, a home run, a base hit, or a ground ball or something. But the ball will go straight through the bat into the catcher's mitt, and it'll be called a strike. So with that being said, I felt that the integrity of the game was it was compromised, so I just stopped playing it. And this has been going on all the way up to MLB The Show 18, and it started when the game came out on the PS4 with MLB The Show 14. It's just been going on all this time, and they just haven't had a chance to rectify that problem. So I just haven't been playing it. So like I said, I would definitely give this game by Konami, Pro Yakyuu Sprits, another go. And I also recommend, if you haven't tried this game, I think it'd be a fantastic purchase. They tend to put out, Konami's not really big on sports like they should. They made a fantastic PES game, and the baseball game has been good as well. I would love to see them do other sports, just for the hell of it, That's just my, my opinion on that, because I don't know. It's just one of the things that I would love to get together. Hopefully Konami can get it together, because they've been doing pretty much all kind of crazy things with their just with their gaming department. It's just been really weird for the past few years, but this is a positive, outstanding. This is a positive. On top of that, you still had the Castlevania stuff the Rondo of Blood and the Symphony of Night just been ported over to the PS4. So that's another good thing. So Konami is trying to get back in good graces, even though overall, I still think they ran their gaming division to the ground. These are a couple of things that shine some light on what's going on. And also, it shines some light on their company. I think it'll be a good thing. So, definitely, Yakyuu Sprits. I think it's definitely a good one to look into. Like I said, I don't have any more thing else to add to that. You know what to do. If you really want to chime in, you can always hit me up on VF Baller on Twitter. You can catch me there, and where you can also just follow me and just continue to try to support the podcast. You can subscribe to it as well, like I said, on iTunes and SoundCloud, and just let me know what your thoughts. All right, I'm going to jump into another topic. It is college basketball season, and college basketball so far, it's been really fun to watch overall. It's just been, Zion Williams at Duke, and that team has been doing well. I think Gonzaga just beat them as at the moment of this podcast that I'm recording it. I think that Gonzaga did beat them, and it's just exciting because this kid looked like he's going to be a huge star in the NBA. It's just no doubt about it. This guy looks really, really good. But outside of the real world stuff, because the college basketball season is very early. Most people don't really pay attention to it till late February, early March is when the tournaments start, and the conference tournaments, they all get together, and that's when college basketball gets really exciting. So we're looking at a situation where that we still don't have any college sports titles coming out. And I talked about college football last week in the podcast, just wondering, would it be really viable to have a new college game? We look at the landscape of a lot of sports titles now. We love them and we hate them. We love them, we hate them. They're updated. They're updated for the worse. The patch comes in, it fixes one thing and breaks another. Me personally, I'm content with NCAA Football 14. I'm content with that. If I don't want to play that, I have the PS2 versions of college football to play. I'm not too big on getting another game. It'd be nice, because more the better. But I've gotten to the point where it'd be nice to bring it back, but I'm not pushing for it anymore. I really could care less. It would be nice for the masses, but for me, I'm content where I am. But the college basketball, same thing. 2K, hell, even Live, they both have done a really good job with their games. If they could just use what they have in those engines for now and put a college game together, I think it'd be fantastic. Well, like I said about the football game, if it comes, great. If not, I'm content either way with College Hoops 2K8. But I think that college basketball game is very much needed for the masses. I think a lot of people would love to have a game like that. At the end of the day, it's like, will they sell? I don't think any of these basketball games, the college basketball games didn't sell as well as they would. That's why they kind of went by the wayside. It wasn't like a situation where you had an injunction where you just had to get out the way of everybody in the NCAA because, you know, people are getting paid or they're not getting paid. I mean, this was before all this was happening. I mean, I know Ed O'Bannon situation came up, but I mean, back then you're looking at 2008, 2009. It was an issue. Players always getting paid. You know, that was always an issue. Players not getting paid. Yeah, it was always there, but it wasn't to the forefront till around the time NCAA 14 went away. I mean, Ed O'Bannon basically came in and tried to shake a lot of things up, and he ended up messing things up for everybody. So it didn't really help. But the flip side to that, if you do have a PS3, if you do have Xbox 360, which, you know, I know some people may not still have theirs, but this is one of the reasons to have one. You know, College Hoops 2K, NCAA Basketball 10 are fantastic college games where we can really, you know, have fun and enjoy a very good in-depth dynasty mode or legacy mode or whatever they call it on there. You know, I think one calls it Dynasty and the other one calls Legacy. The 2K calls it Legacy mode, and the NCAA Basketball 10 by EA call it Dynasty mode. But like I said, fantastic games to play. Something that, you know, you can spend hours and hours in, especially if you especially if you really just have the tedious more psychological. I mean, I don't even know what I'm trying to say. Even if you just have the time, basically, to go in and dwell into trying to recruit and play and actually build your team, build your players. You know, it takes time, but it's well worth it if you're into that kind of stuff. I mean, you know, really, I shouldn't really have to talk about this much because at this point, anybody who's in the sports game and they know about this, so it'd be something really viable to play. It's something real viable to have. I think that the game now they go up in price every now and then. Like the beginning of the college basketball season, you'll see the price go up a little bit and then it'll go back down, then they come back up for March Madness and then it'll go back down again. So you just have to find it for the right price. I mean, some of these college games could go up to, you know, over $100 at times. And then there's another time you can find it for $18-20. Like I said, it's the part of the year that it's in because they know that we don't have a college game around to play. But I highly recommend it if you still want to play those type of games. I mean, don't get me wrong. The mods are great. The mods on NBA 2K on PC is great. They're doing a college mod on Madden, great. But it's nothing like actually playing a college game with that college atmosphere and you feel like you're playing for something when you are, you know, in a dynasty mode or a legacy mode. It's just not the same. So, I just think that it'd be a fantastic choice to try to get that and try to find a way to you know, just enjoy it because, you know, a lot of games out here are worth enjoying, and I think it's a shame that we don't do that as much. So, but anyway, last but not least, before I close this podcast out, I do thank all of you guys for listening and the ones who subscribed and the ones who are really you know, just really supporters of the podcast and ones who spread and share the podcast and really enjoy what you hear. I mean, we really appreciate that here. I know that I can speak for Bills, I can speak for DJ. Those guys are incredible. I couldn't ask for better co-hosts. And unfortunately, like I said, they couldn't be here because of the technical situation I've had. What I'm setting up, I'm not really able to put them guys on to record their feedback. So it's just not it just would not have worked. But the flip side to that is when we're talking about each other, we're talking about friends, people in the gaming community, people outside of gaming, people that you see on a daily basis, your family, your friends, your associates, your classmates, if you're in school. You know, every day is not a good day. Every day is not, you know, everything's not going to be peaches and cream. And I know, like I said, I'm going to go off topic of what we talk about mostly on this podcast. So it is Thanksgiving. So I really want to share a few things with you guys. every day is not a good day, but every day that you get up, it should be a good day based on where you are in life and where you're trying to go. Me personally, I'm very thankful for all the things that I have and the things I have not accomplished yet, because I know I'm going to accomplish them. I wake up every day trying to strive to be the best at what I do, when I go to work, or when I'm, trying to be a good husband to my wife, or when I'm just trying to be a good friend or a good coworker. I just try to spread positivity all the time, even when things aren't right, because everything isn't right on my end. There's times where, you just want to throw your hands up and say, fuck it, but, you just have to pull yourself together. And, there's so many things that we could be, down and out about, so many things we could be negative about. I mean, things just don't go right. But on a day like this, if you are able to be around your family, you be around your friends, or even if you're away from them, you can't be with them, and you have people in your circle that are, that you're close to, just think about those times you have with them, because, those type of things, unfortunately be taken for granted. We just, don't tend to look at things like that. We're all hustling and bustling. We're all trying to bust our ass, trying to make something out of ourselves, going to work. Some aren't going to work. Some just feel like they can't get where they want to go as far as, being successful. But I mean, I always tell people, if you have a plan, you stick with that plan, you're going to get there, no matter what you're going to do. We as, humans, we are very, sophisticated beings. We're very intelligent beings. We're very adaptive beings. I mean, we can get through so much just by doing so little, and it all starts with what you put in. So it's like, there's plenty of things to be thankful for. There's things that are not to be thankful for. There's things that are, that are really a hindrance to some people in their lives. And it just seems like you're not going to make it, or it seems like you can't get around it, or just certain things that are in your life that you can't, get rid of, certain habits or some things. But I mean, the day that you decide that you want to really make something out of that, out of that situation, and you want to turn around and change it, you can do it. Anybody can. It's just that a lot of things in society try to hinder us, the things on social media. And I think social media is a fantastic platform. I have seen it I've seen it do things for the good. They help a lot of people out. A lot of people become entrepreneurs off social media. A lot of people have got, found their path to education through social media, But there's also a flip side of that, where it can become very negative, and if you're not careful, it could pull you out of your your spirits. It could pull you out of your demeanor to where you can't make it where you want to go. But it just still, you can be thankful for all of that stuff, because it's an outlet to where you can relieve some of that, the non-stress, or you can relieve some of that stress, or you can relieve just yourself to just, pretty much, let things go out, and is a form of venting, and it just works, and like I said, it's a beautiful thing. Even for me to be behind this microphone and be able to talk to you guys, and for you to listen to what I'm having to say, I think it's a great thing overall. I'm very thankful to have this platform. I tried to build this platform out of nothing, and it's getting there. I'm happy with where it's going. It's not the biggest, it's not the brightest. It's pretty much one of the smallest little platforms I have, but that one person who listens, and that one person who gets information, and the one person who feels that they're getting, some type of entertainment or actually some knowledge out of it, I thank you. I'm thankful for you. I'm thankful for you to listen, because you could be anywhere else, but you decide to, want to really listen to what I have to say. You want to listen to what Bills have to say. You want to listen to what DJ have to say. Any other guests that I have on the podcast. You come by to listen to what I have to say or what we have to say. And I know on behalf of them, I know they feel they have the same sentiments that we really appreciate. We really thank you guys for really coming through and listening. A lot of people just don't really understand how things work. Like I said, I feel that we as individuals are the most sophisticated, the most, advanced beings on the planet. I think that we have as much of not the knowledge that we just ooze out of our brains and put on paper, put on, on social media, when we put it in a book or, we put it in a newspaper. I mean, I just think that we all, no matter what your differences are, I think all of us collectively just make up a great, they just make up a great conglomerate that is just something just as beautiful as it can be. I don't think there's nothing like it. Just to be honest, there is nothing like it. For us to, actually have this ability to do so much and advance so far with certain things. I mean, you look at your phone, you look at the television, you look at the monitor, you look at the you look at the PlayStation, you look at these other video games, the Xbox, the Nintendo, you look at all these things of technology, your vehicle, buses, planes, trains. Look at the skyscrapers in your urban or rural areas. You see you see the things that man has built. It's just fascinating. And the way that we adapt to get around certain technologies and certain things in life that can cause us a hindrance. We get around those things to make life easier for us. The way that we get around. I mean, I just put it like this. I've gone places. I've lived in a lot of cities in, my 30 plus years of living. And what I used to always do, I used to go to like the metropolitan areas of the city, and I would go and sit down and I would get me like something to eat from one of the restaurants out there. I would get a table outside and I would just go and I would just eat, at that restaurant. And I would just watch people just go about their daily lives. And I just always would think that, this is what makes society run. People going places, people doing things, people are producing things, people are sharing their ideas, people are building, a brand. I always thought that was just fascinating, where thousands and thousands of people would come through a metropolitan area and everybody's going places. Everybody's going to do something to make their lives better. Even the ones who are down on their luck and they're just not, not able to function in that society at that pace. They're still a part of the society that makes everything go. And for me, living in this country, and I know some people may feel differently about this country or whatever, and that's fine. And I really think that this is the greatest country on this earth, even with its flaws. There's no other place I would rather be, because when I sit back and I watch how society moves and watch the economy grow and how the economy goes down and then it picks itself back up, and people lose their job, they get rehired, or some people get fired, or some people take a demotion, and some people get raises. It's just funny how the ebb and flow of this society just works. And, it's just those things right there could be, I'm really thankful to be a part of that. I can't tell you enough. And that's just a whole nother topic I can go to, how thankful I am to have the family that I have, my wife, and, I have a son on the way. That's a whole different topic, but it's just those little things that people, don't really think about at times. Your wife or your spouse, get on each other's nerves at times, and our kids could act up at times, and things just ain't going right. It's just, it's the ebb and flow of life, and really, that just in general, put the umbrella over all of that, is just something that I'm really, really thankful for. And I really think that if anyone takes the time to just take a day off, especially this time of year, it'd be amazing. You'll be amazed. Take this time of year, just go out. You don't have to go to a metropolitan. Just go to a busy area anywhere in your city, and just go and just have lunch by yourself, or just have lunch with a friend or your spouse, and just watch people move. Watch people do things. It's one of the unwritten things that people don't even talk about, how this country or this world just works. I think it's one of the most fascinating things, and the fact that it works that way, and we're able to get so many things out of the movers and shakers of this world. The people who drive trucks, people who deliver things, people who get on planes, people who just move goods and services to people. You look at anything that's in your house and just think about, how was that built? TVs just don't pop up out of nowhere. 4K TVs just don't be made. A graphics card just don't be poof, it's in the store. There's a lot of people that, it takes a lot of hands to make those things. Either well be if it's somewhere in some low budget, third world country that makes this stuff. It's being made. So, I just always find that fascinating. And I know this is way off topic from First and Framerates. We talk about sports and sports gaming, but, I really wanted to get it off my chest, especially this time of the year, because, Thanksgiving's coming up, and, Thanksgiving is here, based on, the podcast, release date, and you have Christmas around the corner, and then there's another year. And a lot of people like to make changes for the new year and want to do things different. But like I said, just watch people at times, just watch them. Just watch what people do. And I know, like, right around this time of year, it might be a little cold to go out and sit outside and eat. Just go to a diner where there's a window and just watch people go, especially around the middle of the day. It's actually fascinating. You just watch this truck go by and like, where that truck is taking what, or what this delivery guy, who is he providing a service to deliver this food to, who knows what. And that food could be going to somebody who's have this great invention going on in their head, or they're just putting it on paper, or they're just actually inventing it at that point to where, 5 years from now, that could be the next big thing that we all use. So I just think that stuff is fascinating. So like I said, at the end of the day, that's what I'm really thankful for, is just being in a position to continue to be prosperous and watch other people be prosperous. And if you're not able, you feel like you're not able to be prosperous, or you're not able to make something of yourself, you could be down on your luck, you could be down on any situation that you're in, you can always just remember that, it's never over. There's plenty of things that could be there, could always be worse. It's just, that's just how the ebb and flow of life goes. It is what it is. So, I hope you guys take that for what it is. And, I hope you guys really understand where I'm coming from. Hope you guys enjoyed this, episode of First and Framerates, episode 44. Like I said, it was just me solo. I could not able to get the other guys on based on the setup I have today. It just was not going to happen. I do apologize if you were looking to listen to those guys, but you can always catch them on Twitter. Bills is at Bills4th. You can also catch DJ at DJ81. Myself, I am at VF Baller. You can always catch us up on Twitter. Tell me what you think about the podcast. Also, if you want more information about the podcast, you want to subscribe to catch us on a daily, weekly basis. You always catch us on SoundCloud. Just search First and Framerates. Also, you can catch us on iTunes, which is also First and Framerates on iTunes. Just search us there. You can find us on there. And also, like, if you have your own podcast app, I know there's a lot of podcast app out there that basically pulls the the subscription list off of iTunes or SoundCloud or whatever. I think you pull it off of iTunes. Just put us in the search bar, or you can just use the RSS feed, which you will find on my Twitter. I will put that on my Twitter as well. The RSS feed, where you can just put that in your podcast app, and you could basically just listen to us on the go. You can subscribe and download at any of those three outlets, where you can just really listen to us at any time. A few days later, after I post the podcast, I put it up on YouTube under the Silent Gamer YouTube channel. You can always catch it there, where if you don't mind or if you don't want to do the whole thing with the podcast app or using the apps available. Me personally, I like putting it on the other apps so you don't have to use any data when it's up on YouTube. It's just a little bit easier that way. And I know there's a place on YouTube where you can download certain files. I think you have to subscribe for the YouTube Premium or something like that. You can download it there too if you have that. So all that'll work. And I really do appreciate you guys really listening. I will definitely be back next week. Hopefully the guys will be here. I'll have the rest of the setup together where definitely it'll be up together so these guys can really be on and they can speak their mind about the topics of the week. And just basically that's what we're going to do. I do appreciate you guys really listening. I really do. Like, give us a comment, give us feedback on Twitter, share it with your friends. And, at the end of the day, that's all we ask is just you listen. That's all I ask for you is to listen. And I thank you guys for coming by, and I hope you guys enjoyed. And I'll see you guys on the next one. You guys take care. Peace.